Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the great Dr. Marcelle Petry. She is a expert in holistic healing. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I have this theory that if you're born healthy, there's this perfect blueprint made by God, and you are a perfect person, but then life happens, you have trauma, you have different setbacks, you have injuries, sometimes you have a heartbreak that changes the blueprint. And there are many people in America right now who are burning the candle at both ends and in the middle. They're not getting enough sleep. They're drinking during the day. They're trying to wind down with some kind of sleeping pill, and then they're waking up with coffee and trying to do it all over again. And so they're really burned out. So that's why I have my next guest in the studio. Dr. Marcelle Petry is in the studio. She's with Healthy Body Integrative Medicine. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I want you to riff off of what I just said. I do think that, if you're born healthy, we do have a perfect body, but then life happens.
Absolutely.
So when patients come to you, there could be a myriad of problems, and unlike many people who would just write a prescription, you really want to get to the bottom of the problem.
Absolutely. First of all, Jeff, the human body is designed to heal itself. So consider the first trauma that we all experience is birth.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the average young person is 13, they've had over 1,000 traumas.
Wow.
So by the time patients make it into my office, they've had slip falls, athletic injuries, all of these things. As a matter of fact, 75% of the reason that people come into the doctor's office is stress related. So that stress can be environmental stress.
Yes.
It can be physical stress. It can be trauma in some type of car accident or slip and fall, even repetitive stress where we're sitting at a desk for heaven knows how many hours at a time.
Yeah.
And so here is the thing that is important for people to understand, because a lot of times patients have the approach that it'll work itself out.
Right.
And so then it becomes more of a problem. And so it usually takes the average person 2 years before they even step into my office.
Wow.
So imagine all of the work that has to be done to get that person to moving better and functioning better, but it can be done.
Yes. And I think I've seen surveys that say that the average family doctor only has 7 minutes with you. And in 7 minutes, how much can you do? And so too often the family doctor is just writing a prescription.
So true.
But then often the patient is taking a cocktail of different prescriptions that may interact poorly. So when a patient comes to you, you're really about finding out what's going on.
Absolutely. It's all about finding the cause. A lot of times let's think about it. In our society today, it's microwave type mentality. You want to feel better right now. But the fact is, we have to think of our health as a freight train that's going 120 miles per hour in the wrong direction. You first have to slow that freight train down, bring it to a stop, and then put it into the right direction. So we have to be committed to the process. The wonderful thing about what I see in my office on a day-to-day basis is that once the body receives what it needs, it gives you that affirmation, that confirmation, I'm in the right place and we are making progress.
We're going to pull her website up, and as we scroll down the website, I was so impressed with all the different services that you offer. So as we scroll down, maybe make some comments about some of the things that we're seeing.
Absolutely. So we start with the chiropractic adjustment. I mean, that is making sure that your body is communicating effectively. You have to start with communication. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
We also implement spinal decompression. That's an 87% success rate when it comes to addressing disc issues. So let's say if a person has pain that starts in the neck, but it's going down into their arms, or in the low back, it's going into their legs, spinal decompression is excellent with that. We always start with digital x-rays because we want to be as specific as possible. And those x-rays help us to see where you are. And in addition to that, we've got supplements such as IV therapy, regenerative medicine, which helps to heal the body conservatively. So we're giving the body some additional nutrients where it's able to utilize that and exponentially get those results faster.
And I see platelet-rich plasma therapy.
Yes, that is a part of the regenerative medicine aspect where you use your own tissue. So you're not using something foreign, but your own tissue to be placed right back into the joint or the muscular area surrounding that joint to give more nutrients so that the body can heal.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, we have great surgeons here in Dallas-Fort Worth, but too often people elect surgery in cutting. I mean, I look at the great Tiger Woods. He had so many different surgeries on his back. He'll never be the same golfer again.
So true.
And there could have been some other solutions.
So true. And that is exactly why it's my mission to educate as much as I possibly can, because with those surgeries, specifically back surgery, 75% of them have to be redone. So yes, the person is in pain. They want a better quality of life, but let's go along the means of more conservative route. The chiropractic adjustment coupled with decompression therapy, cold laser therapy. These are all things that are able to help the body do what it's created to do, which is heal itself.
And in 2019, you wrote a best-selling book called Reset. So we're going to put this on the screen so people can see this book. Tell us some of the things that you wrote about in the book.
So Reset, you know what? I have this where patients were asking the same questions. And so I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and put it into a book. So if I had to summarize the purpose of Reset, it's basically like your user's guide. If I am experiencing a lot of fatigue and I don't know why, look at the book Reset. You may need to support your adrenal glands. You may need to help detox your liver. If you are not having good quality of sleep, look at Reset. I go through the positioning, the correct position to sleep. For example, if you're sleeping on your stomach, please stop doing it right now, because stomach sleeping reverses the curves in your spine, and it's going to lead to things such as neck pain, headache, back pain. So in the book, I discuss what is the proper way to support your posture while you're sleeping, because when we sleep, that is when the body utilizes its energy to be able to restore and heal the body.
You have so many great tips in the book, and you also give away the gold on social media. So I was on your Facebook page, and you have all these wonderful videos. Let's go ahead and roll this one.
Do you ever find yourself waking up in this position? Guys, this is something we need to stop. When we put that type of pressure on our neck, we're actually irritating the nerves that exit that neck, and then those nerves go to our hands. And so if we're also sleeping on our wrists, that is compounding on the stress and the wear and tear that we're putting on our wrists. Here are 2 helpful hints so that we can get that corrected for you. Number 1, when you go to sleep on your side, always want your neck in line with your spine, okay? You can do that by having the right pillow or necessary support to ensure that when you're laying down, your neck is in line with your spine. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you've got some type of support, whether that's a pillow or a towel, so that you're not putting pressure on your wrists. I've got a lot more helpful hints to help with this particular area. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more information.
I love that. Let's talk a little bit more about chiropractic, because you have traditional family medicine and then you have chiropractic,
Yes.
and the two don't often talk to each other.
Sure.
Tell us about chiropractic and why that may be a solution to some of your patients' problems.
Well, Jeff, I will say this. Usually when I am speaking to a patient, I ask them a few questions. First question, do you have a spine? And if the answer is yes, I move on to, do you want to be able to move for the years that you are on this earth? And if the answer is yes, then I say you need chiropractic in your life. The purpose of chiropractic is to make sure that we remove interference that is inhibiting the body to communicate with the brain and vice versa. So if a person wants to function at their optimal level, if you want quality of the quantity of years that you have, then you should be incorporating chiropractic care.
One of the things that you and I talked about before the show is diabetes is a big deal, and often people are undergoing surgery to remove a toe or something like that. And that in your mind, that's kind of like the extreme solution. There are other ways, if you get in early enough, that you could help correct that.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's becoming an epidemic, really. There are people that are literally losing limbs, and it's not necessary. When you have the right provider that is managing those wounds, it can start off something small, but if that gets infected, it becomes larger and larger, and then it becomes a problem that is too great to fix conservatively. So we have a phenomenal nurse practitioner in our office who is certified. This is her area of expertise. We are after helping people live healthy lives with all of your limbs.
We've got about 2 minutes left, so Dr. Petry, why don't you give some final thoughts? Like for the person who's wired and tired, and they know that their body is failing them. What do you want to say to that person?
Thank you for that opportunity. I get it. There's a lot of mundane, there's a lot of hills and valleys, but keep this in mind. We only have one body. And that's one of the reasons why we've implemented this Reset Your Life Challenge. The website is rylchallenge.com. And the purpose for this is to help to recenter ourselves. Sometimes when we get so caught up with taking care of this person, taking care of that person, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner thinking, well, my body will work. It'll work. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, there's a reason why there's balance. There's a reason why we have sleep. You only have a certain amount of energy that your body creates every day. So we need to be good stewards of our bodies. We need to make sure that we are keeping balance. And that's where chiropractic comes in. It's about implementing balance, making sure that that line of communication is without interruption between your body and your brain. Key thing. And if you think, well, it's maybe just a little ache, it's maybe just a little discomfort. Well, mark my words, it starts as a little and then it increases because your body is designed to heal itself. So it's not going to be wasteful. It's going to give you signs. But if we ignore those signs, then it's going to come back with more signs. So I implore you today, if you know that you have, actually, the Bible says that we're promised 120 years. So imagine that. If you know that you have those amount of years promised to you, you know you have the quantity. Now, what about the quality? If you are determined to maintain the quality of those quantity of years, then chiropractic should be something that you implement in your life.
So profound. Thank you for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to end with her website, which is hbintegrativemedicine.com. The great Dr. Marcelle Petry. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.